Hello guys, welcome to my channel. This is Fashion Star Gold. In today's tutorial, I want to show you how to cut and sew a baby's ball gown or a girl's ball gown. I have the measurements: shoulder 11, shoulder to bust 6, shoulder to waist 12, bust 23, waist 23, full length 33. So I'm going to start with the downside of it. The material is folded into two. I have 3 yards of bridal satin. This is the way I'm going to fold it. I'll fold it in a triangular form. I'll fold it this way. This is the way I'm folding it. I'm going to double the waist. The waist is 23. I'm going to double the waist. So I'm going to take 50 inches. I doubled the waist and I added a little inches. So I'm going to measure 50 inches. Then I will divide it by 3.14. That is the radius. So 3.14 is 15.9. So I want to measure 16 inches. So from this angle, the angle here, from here, I'm going to measure 16 inches. That's my radius. 16 inches. All around. So I'm measuring with 16 inches this way. The length is going to be 33 inches. I'm going to subtract 33 by 12. From shoulder to waist is 12. So I'm going to subtract it. So it's going to be 21 inches. But I'm going to take 25 inches of the allowance. So I'm measuring 25 inches this way. So I'm still measuring the 25 inches. So I'll finish measuring the 25 inches. I'm going to trace it. I'm tracing it this way. So I'll finish measuring the down side of it. I'm going to place the legs, the downside of it, to check whether it's okay. I've already cut this one. If I want to make a video at once, it will be very long. So it has matches the measurement. So I'm going to remove it. and cut it now. So this is the bridal satin. So this is the downside of it. This is the downside of the ball gown. This is the two sides. I'll fold one side of it. Fold one side of it this way. Then I'm going to cut it. So when I want to attach my zip, the opening from the waist is going to be between 3 inches and 3.5 inches. When I'm attaching my zip, or when I'm going to fix my zip, the measurement from the waist into the downside of it is going to be either 3 inches or 3.5 inches. So this way I'm going to sew with 1 inch down. So I already cut it. This is the downside of it. So this is the lace. This is the lace. I've already cut the lining the same way. So I'm through with the downside of it. For the lining, I cut it the same way that I cut the lace and the bridal satin. I want to explain what I did here. This is the back side of it where I'm going to attach my zip. I've already cut it out. I said between 3 inches and 3.5 inches for the zip from the waist. So this is the lining. I'm going to attach a net, a canker, a stiff net to it so that the ball will be firm. So this is my net. I cut the net into 6.5 inches. Then I'm going to gather it. I'll make a stitch or use a thread and a needle to gather it. So all these nets will go into this lining. So how do I get this measurement that I drew with the chalk? How I got this measurement? First of all, because of the net, I don't want to tickle the child. So from here, I measure 2 inches. From these 2 inches, then I now measure 6 inches apart. I want to fix the stiff net in 3 layers. The first layer, the second layer, the third layer. So the first layer is 6 inches. So this is the second one. This is the third one. Is 6 inches. So when I want to place a gathered or a ruffle on it, or you want to pleat it, you can as well pleat it. I'm going to start from these 2 inches below the waistline. So I don't want the net to come to the waist side so that it will not make the child to be uncomfortable. So I'm going to pleat it this way. So I'll plait it this way. I'll plait it here. I'll plait on this line. I'll plait on this line. So all the nets will go inside. All the slip nets will go inside. So I'm through with the downside of it. I want to show you the upper side of it. This is satin, this is the lining, and this is the lace material. So this is the 2 inches allowance for the zip. This is the zipper, 2 inches. As you can see, it's 2 inches allowance here. See it here, complete 2 inches. So I already cut it. The length is 12 inches plus 3 inches allowance. After I'm going to trim it out, so I have it 15 inches. The width is 13.5 inches plus 2 inches. That is for the zipper and for the body of it. This is the front side of it. So there's a way I cut the front side of it. Let me show you how I'm going to place it. This is the way I'm going to place it. So I'm going to place it this way. I'll place it this way on the front of the ball gown. So I'll place it this way. This is how the front will look like. That is how the front will look like. So I'm going to trace it. I'll trace it, make sure that it's stayed on it. This is the front. And the back is equally the same thing. So that is how the front side will look like. So I'll take it back. I'll place it back. So I'm trying to arrange it. So we want to place the measurements now, but I'm trying to fix it back. Okay, I'm going to take like 1 minute to do that. There's a part going on here. I hope you are feeling the jam, you are feeling the music. It's a rainy day. So I want to take the measurements now. The neck is, or the shoulder is 11 inches divided by 2, 5.5 inches. But I'm going to take 7 inches. At the end of it, I'm going to trim it out. I'll trim it out this way. So that's how I'm taking. I'll come down by 1 inch. The shoulder, I'm going to take 5.5 inches for the shoulder. Then shoulder to bust is 6 inches. Shoulder to waist is 12 inches. So I'm going to rule a line this way. I'm adding a lot of allowance, but at the end of it, I'm going to trim it out. It's better for you to add allowance than for you to look for material to attach. So I'm bringing down the shoulder measurement here. So I'm still taking 7 inches this way. I want to connect my armhole measurement. So the armhole measurement goes this way. The midpoint is 2.5 inches. I'll come in by 1/2 inch. The bust is 23 inches divided by 4. You have 5.75. So I'm going to take 10 inches plus allowance. I'm adding allowance. At the end of it, as I said, I'm going to trim it out. Taking 10 inches this way. So I'm taking the waist measurement. I'm still going to take 10 inches this way. Let me explain the bust again. The bust is 5.75 plus 2 inches sewing allowance, 7.75 plus 1 inch dart allowance, 8.75. So I'm taking 10 inches. I'm taking 10 inches. At the end of the day, I'm going to trace it back. I'm going to trim it out. So I'm going to connect it this way. I'm connecting the armhole here. Is for a child of 3 years. So I'm marking it this way. It's going to have sleeve. So let me measure the shoulder. I'm going to rule a line. For the neck width, I want to take 2.5 inches. For the neck depth, I will take 3 inches. I don't want it to be tight on our neck. If you like, you can add 1 inch allowance. It's better for you to have more allowance than for you to look for material to attach. So I am through with the front side of it. For the back side of it, For the dart I will take 2.5 inches. That's for the front dart. So I'll connect it this way. I'm going to mark here half inch, half inch. I'll connect it here. So this is the front side of it now. I am through with the front side of it. Let me go to the back side. So I'm going to measure the zipper, which is 2 inches allowance. 2 inches for the zipper. I'm going to rule a line. So here I'm going to take 7 inches. I'll come down by 1 inch. Then I'll measure 5 inches. I'll connect the shoulder. I'm bringing down the shoulder measurement, which is 7 inches. I'm connecting a line. 5 inch. This is 2.5 inches. The midpoint of 5 inches is 2.5 inches. I'll rule a line this way. Shoulder to bust point is 6 inches. Shoulder to the waist is 12 inches. So I'll still measure 10 inches as I measure on the front side of it. 10 inches. Remember, it's a baby of 3 years. I'll add 1 inch at the end of it. I'm going to trim it out. Then I will connect the armhole line. I'm connecting the armhole line this way. The dart I'm taking 2.5 inches. I'll connect it like this. So I want to measure half inch, and half inch. I'll connect it to a bust point this way. So for the neck width, I'm going to take 2.5 inches. As I did to the front side, 2.5 inches. I'm taking 1 inch. at the back side. So I'm connecting it this way. So I'm going to come in by 1 inch at the waistline.